are live here from Yost Ice Arena, where it is Michigan women's hockey taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions, as Penn State making the trip down here to Ann Arbor for a two-game set, as it will be today and then tomorrow at 4:05 between these two teams. So taking a look at the two squads, Penn State is 8-4-1 on the season. Michigan is 8-3-3 on the season. Taking a look at Michigan, they started off the season with the game against Maryville, who we will see next weekend. That was here at Yost Ice Arena. That was a 4-1 win by Maryville. Then they beat McKendree, who we're also going to see next weekend. That was a 3-2 win here at Yost Ice Arena October 6th. They beat Grand Valley for a pair of games, home and home, October 19th and 20th. On the 21st of October, they beat Michigan State by a score of 6-2. Then on October 2nd, they went down to Miami University, beat Miami 3-1 in the first game, then tied them 1-1 on the second. They then had a two-game run at University of Massachusetts Amherst, where they tied the first game 2-2, and then tied the second game 3-3. That's their three ties. They then beat Rhode Island by a score of 8-3. They fell to University of Michigan Dearborn that on November 16th, 3-2. Then beat them in a home-and-home, beating them here at Yost Ice Arena 5-1. Their final games of the regular calendar year, they beat Indiana Tech here at Yost Ice Arena 3-2 back on November 21st. Then on the 22nd, they fell to Indiana Tech over at the Parkview Ice House in Fort Wayne. That was a 5-1 win there. Taking a look at that game, it was shots on goal, 20 for Michigan, 22 for Indiana Tech. Three infractions for Michigan, 6 penalty minutes, 7 infractions for Indiana Tech for 12 penalty minutes. Started off with a goal by Green from Bowler at 2:24 to give them the 1-0 lead. Then Grace Bobby scored her second of the season on the power play from Carr and Malashevsky. That made it 1-1. Then at 13:34, Green scored her sixth of the season. That was the game-winning goal. Yonker and Terpstra on the assists. Then at 14:45, Bescu scored her first of the season from Calverta and Jusik. In the second, it was Jusik who scored her first goal of the season. Rogers on the assist. And then the final tally was at 1:42. And in the third, and that was Bowler scoring her ninth of the season, Episcopo and Green on the assists. It was Schiff who picked up the loss, facing 28 shots on goal, saving 23 of them. And Varner had the win, 20 shots on goal, saving 19 of them. Taking a look at the points leaders for Michigan, out at front is Julia Lindahl. She has 23 points on 9 goals and 14 assists. Lucy Hansen has 21 points on 12 goals and 9 assists. Malashevsky has 12 points on 2 goals and 10 assists. She's at the third spot. And those top 3 players are all out in Italy right now with Team USA. We have 6 players and 1 coach out with Team USA out in Italy. So it is Lindahl, Hansen, Malashevsky, Swanson, Paneth, as well as Gustafson, all out at Italy. So that's a fair number of points. What would that be? 44 points, 56 points for Michigan that is away. Ferris is at the number 4 spot. She has 9 points on 2 goals and 7 assists. Carr has 8 points on 4 goals and 4 assists. Katie German right at the 6th spot on 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points. At the netminder position, it is going to be, let's see, pull up my email where I got the starters for Michigan, but the netminders for the Maize in Blue, Emma Johns has 1 win, 1 goal against average, a .952 save percentage. Paneth has a 3-1 record. She has a .928 save percentage and 211, 2.11 goals against average. Schiff has 3 wins, 2 losses. She has a 2.3 goals against average and a 9.26 save percentage. And then Heiserman has played 1 game, 1 win, 3 goals against, and an 8.89 save percentage. So 3 out of the 4 netminders are above 900, which is fantastic. It's really nice to have all of those players out there. So that's wonderful. Taking a look at our... If I pull up, I should have the starting lineups here. So for Michigan, by the way, there we go. Starting lineups for Michigan is going to be Carr at left wing, Gordon at center, Cummings at right wing, and then on defense, it's Katie German on the left side defense, Izzy German on the right, and Schiff gets the start in goal for Michigan. Taking a look at the opposing squad here, Penn State. Penn State is 5-1-1. They started off with beating Lake Superior State University at Pagula. That was a 3-2 win back on October 19th. On October 20th, Lake Superior took the second half of that 4-1. Then they played Aquinas for 2 games at Pagula and beat Aquinas 7-1 in the first game on October 25th and 8-1 on the second game, October 26th. They played University of Rhode Island over at Boss Ice Arena, where Michigan was at not that long ago, a month and a half ago. Penn State lost the first game there 4-2, and then lost the second game 3-2 there. They did then had Davenport visit Pagula Ice Arena on November 22nd and 23rd. Penn State took both of those games 9-2 in the first one and 8-1 on the second one. Then they played Indiana Tech to round out the calendar year, falling to Indiana Tech in the first game on December 6th. That was a 5-1 win by Indiana Tech, then 8-0 on December 7th. Taking a look at that last game by Penn State, Indiana Tech scored 5 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third for an 8-0 win. 55 shots on goal for Indiana Tech, 15 for Penn State, 4 infractions, 8 penalty minutes for Penn State, 2 infractions, 4 penalty minutes for Indiana Tech. Calverta started off with the scoring from Pedam Shan at 121. Then it was Bowler who had her 10th goal of the season from Calverta. That at 2:37. Gilmore scored her first goal of the season with no assist at 3:43. Then Kusabel scored her first goal of the season from Gilmore and Green on the power play at 11:03. And Murray had her 6th goal of the season from Yakachuk at 19:34. That's the 5-0 power play goals in that headed into the second. The second, Yakachuk had her 12th goal of the season from Pedam Shan, her 12th assist. That made it 6-0. As Legal had her first goal of the season, no assist on that at 3:50. That made it 7-0. And then the final tally came in the third as Murray put in her 7th goal of the season at 3:03. Pedam Shan and Episcopo on the assists. Gorman took the loss for Penn State, and it was Riley who had the win for, Riley came in as well. So looks like Gorman had 15 saves on 19 shots. Riley came in, played 49 minutes after that. She had 32 saves on 36 shots, but the damage already done. Paige Gorman took the loss. Varner on the other side saved 15 out of 15. At the top 5 scores for Penn State, up at the top, Solowski has scored 16 points on 5 goals and 11 assists. Shaw has 12 points on 6 goals and 6 assists. And then it is Radicki, who has 11 points on 7 goals and 4 assists. Sperling, who has 10 points on 6 goals and 4 assists. And then Bars rounding out the top 5 with 8 points on 6 goals and 2 assists. Over on the Penn State side, Blanchard has won 2 games at the goaltender spot with a 1.5 goals against average and a 9.09 save percentage. Riley has played 3 games, 2 wins, no losses, 2.13 goals against average, and a 9.27 save percentage. And then Paige Gorman has played 6 games, 1 win, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss, 4.20 goals against average, and an 8.96 save percentage out there. So we do have that. Let me take a look and see if I have any see if I got a text with Penn State's information. Here we go. Penn State starters. I got a list of them. Pull that back out. So it looks like it's going to be Paige Gorman starting at goal. And then Bella Silvino is going to play. Isabella Silvino is going to be at left defense. And Pisano is going to be at right defense. Left wing is going to be Radicki. At center is going to be Soloski. And at right wing is going to be Willie. That's going to be your starters there. So Paige Gorman gets the start for Penn State. Let's take a look at the upcoming next 5 games here for Michigan women's hockey. And we're taking on Penn State tomorrow. Again, that's going to be that time is wrong. That's going to be a 4:05 time. Sorry, I'm trying to fix graphics before coming, and apparently I didn't get that. So tomorrow's going to be a 4:05 game, so ignore that. Then we'll be on the road Saturday at McKendree. That's an 8 p.m. game on January 18th. On January 19th, over at Maryville, that's a Saturday 8:30 p.m. game. And then on Monday, January 20th, it is a 1 o'clock game there on, I believe that's Martin Luther King Day. We'll have a game there. And then Michigan is on the road January 25th. That will be at the Arctic Coliseum versus Concordia. That is an 8 p.m. game. So that's the upcoming 5 games coming up here. Again, lots of folks for Michigan, including head coach Jenna Trebbiano, is the assistant coach over at USA Hockey. She is out in Italy right now as they had a game versus, what was it, Slovakia. That was a scrimmage that they won 4-3. Out there, taking a look again, Paneth is one of the goaltenders. Michigan out with the group. It's Riley, Jesse Garali, and Quinn Ettinger from Adrian College in Arizona State are the other goalies. On defense for Michigan, Gustafson is out there for the red, white, and blue. It is McKenna, Duprice, Miranda, Palayan, Ackerman, and Vandenbush are the other defenders. McKenna from Arizona State, Duprice from University of Colorado, Miranda from Adrian College, Palayan from Michigan Dearborn, Ackerman from Minot State, and Vandenbush from Niagara. Taking a look at the forwards for Michigan, it is Lindahl, Swanson, and Hansen, as well as Malashevsky. So 4 forwards for Michigan making the squad. Paulson is another forward from Arizona State. From McKendree, it's Jeffers from Arizona State University. Brown, then Green from Indiana Tech is out in Italy. Haley Hansen from University of Utah. Arizona State player Lula Swanson. Villiard from Adrian College. 2 players from Liberty, Battles, and Fusi, and then Malashevsky rounding out. The head coach is Lindsay Ellis from Arizona State. Assistant coach is Jenna Trebbiano from University of Michigan, of course, and Anna Quattaro from Buffalo. Team doctor is McGibbon. Ahmad McGibbon from Lynchburg, obviously associated with Liberty. They have equipment manager, so lots of folks that's out in Torino happening. I think they have a game coming up tomorrow. I'll have to try and find that out. Some of the games are going to be for the University World Games are going to be on Max through Discovery, and then they had a website for the other ones. So checking out to see what we can do there. No Coach Ned up in the broadcast booth for us today. He is down on the bench, and he's over there with Coach Bonser, as Coach Tribbs is out with Team USA. So Penn State starting lineup, as we talked about earlier. So skating out is Willie at one forward. At center is Slosky. Then Radicki at the other forward position. On defense, Pisano. And then Isabel Savino. And between the pipes, it is Gorman. Now for Michigan. Cummings at one of the wings comes out. Katie Cummings. Sam Carr skates out. And Manami Gordon, the center for Michigan. Katie German, the captain at one of the blue liners, and Izzy German at the other blue line spot. And Schiff between the pipes. Again, coaches Ned Glisson and Bill Bonser on the bench for Michigan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dire America, the playing of the national anthem. Coaches for Penn State, Andrew Galati and Vincent Vitucci are the coaches for Penn State. And I apologize, we had a little license issue with our OCR scoreboard, so we won't have the time on this one, but I will do the manual scoreboard, and we'll do our best to keep that up and going and up to date, and I'll try and save the time as much as possible to keep you in the loop. We're really glad to be back. Last time we were up here was with the Old Puckers game, and excellent to be back. We hope all of the 6 players and 1 coach for Michigan who are out with Team USA are having a great time out there. They've put out a couple, there was a couple reel out there asking everyone what they can't travel without in Kennedy Airport and some things like that. So hopefully they're having a good time, and this gives an opportunity for some players who may not have gotten as much time on the ice for Michigan, may not have gotten as many opportunities to score. This is a great opportunity for more players to find their groove, step up, get a couple other things going, and really set things up for a big second half of the season. Gordon in to take the face-off. On the other side is Slosky. And we're getting ready to go here from Yost Ice Arena. As that puck back now sent forward down the near boards by Katie German. That drops back into the Penn State zone. In along the near boards is Pisano. Pisano into the near corner trying to pull that away. Gordon has it. Here comes. And tipped right back into the near corner, trying to pull it away. There's a shot by Cummings that comes right up and along the back glass. Grabbing that back there, Isabella Savino. Puts it in along the far boards, trying to break out. That puck comes down the near boards. Racing ahead with it, coming in is that pulled over as Radicki had it, and all the way off of the near boards. Penn State grabs it. It's a little bit Isabella Savino, puts it back deep. Picked up by Katie German. Nope, Izzy German moves over to Katie German underneath the far circle. Fed ahead, tipped by Carr, all the way back. Pisano trying to move it in. Hung tips it all the way back deep into the near corner of the Penn State zone. Picking up, trying to send it ahead is Solosky. Tipped back by Willie, grabbed. Now Solosky coming down, gains his own. Solosky, top of the near circle. Solosky stops there for Penn State. Solosky moves it into the near corner. That gathered up into the near corner. Izzy German moves it over. Picked up by Ferris in the far corner. Ferris trying to move it out. Puck now sent into the neutral zone down the far boards. Now slip back into the Penn State zone. Racing back over to get it is Cohan. Moved into the near corner. Hung has it there. Hung trying to pull it away and grab back the other direction. Any Penn State fans, forgive me, we were trying to fix the OCR scoreboard. I didn't get a chance to double check the pronunciations with the Penn State staff. So hopefully I don't murder anyone's name too badly. As that's fired ahead by Sperling, picked up, trying to put it back deep is Dilla. Dilla into the near corner of the Penn State zone, out in front. That puck loose in the slot now, fired all the way in along the far boards. Penn State gets it back into the neutral zone. Kowich fires ahead to Black. Black gains the zone outside the near circle. Black trying to pull that away, sent by Shaw back into the neutral zone, back into the Penn State end. Gathered up back over there. It's a number 4 who I didn't have on my roster. Bobby trying to get to it, top of the far circle. Back, Ceballos with a shot. That got blocked out in front. Bobby trying to get to it, but that put outside the far circle. Black trying to pull that away. Now backhanded by Dilla. Slipped back into the neutral zone right in front of the Penn State bench. Now Rudd has it at her own blue line. Rudd ricochets it off the near boards. Trying to get to it is Black. That gathered up is Sperling trying to send it to the Michigan blue line. Black has it off of the skates, fires it ahead. That puck into the zone, offside the call. 17:22 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between these two squads, Michigan and Penn State. Opening up the calendar year for both of these two teams as Ginn versus Gordon in the face-off circle. That's pulled back over. Tomko has it underneath the near circle of her own zone. Tomko trying to feed it ahead. Tomko gets it all the way across ice, right at the blue line. And it's fed all the way back, picked up by Izzy German, top of the near circle of her own zone. Izzy German feeds it down. That intercepted, trying to feed it the other direction, was 15 for Penn State. Coming ahead, I need to write those down as 4 and 15 so I can double check those for tomorrow. All the way back, that'll slip back into the neutral zone. Foot race as Katie German gets to it. Pressure from behind as that's Hotchman. Now here comes Michigan down the near boards. Cummings trying to get it out of the zone. That deflected right back into the Michigan end. Ricocheted off the glass on the near side. Gathered up by Penn State as they move it ahead. That's fed ahead by Tomko deep into the Michigan zone. Ferris has it underneath the near circle. Trying to move it over to Hung. Hung trying to get it up the boards. Michigan trying to get it out of the zone. Garbetti racing back, trying to pull that in. There's a shot and a save by Schiff. Shot from the slot. As that was Hotchman, I believe, who got that shot away. 16-14 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between these two squads. Face off in the near face off circle to Schiff's right. Puck comes back behind. Kolwich has it back behind her own goal. Gets it over. Flazar moves it ahead through the neutral zone. Garbetti trying to get to it back behind the defense. Garbetti backhand and a save by Gorman. What a good shot by Garbetti, but Gorman able to move over. That puck comes down in along the near boards. Carter trying to fire it back deep. Ricochets off the end boards, and here comes Ferris the other direction. Ferris gets it back into the neutral zone. Picked up Pisano, had it. That pulled away. Here comes Michigan coming in. Shot and a save is another great opportunity for Garbetti. Picked up. Now here comes the other direction. Pisano trying to get it into the Michigan zone. That knocked right back to center ice. Hung trying to get to it. Now that backhanded into the near boards of the Michigan zone. Gathered up by Kolwich. Kolwich over center ice right in front of the scorer's bench. Pulled the other direction by Radicke. Fires it down the far boards. Tipped away, now pulled in. Radicke. Just outside of the near point. Fires it all the way back to her own blue line. Set up there is Cohen. Cohen trying to bring it into Solosky. Now offside the call. Willie had it over on that far side, and that's going to bring it outside of the Michigan zone in the far face-off circle. 15:04 left to go here in the first. Live from Yost Ice Arena. Another game tomorrow between these two squads at 4:05 if Lions aren't playing this weekend. If you want to come watch some hockey, maybe just record the NFL football. Picked up back behind by Katie German. Katie German coming underneath the far circle, down the far boards of her own zone. Katie German over her own blue line, and pulled away by Radicke. Coming right at the Michigan blue line, trying to pull it back. That's grabbed back over there by Solosky. Solosky moves it over to Cohen. Cohen fired all the way back deep into the far corner. Penn State has to retreat to get it. Cohen has it underneath the near circle. Cohen coming down the near boards. Ricochets it ahead. Picked up, coming in with it is Sperling. Sperling moves it right back behind the goal. Katie German underneath the far circle trying to feed it ahead. Held in at the far point by Shaw. Now bowled out. Here comes Michigan racing down with it, as that's pulled away from Weinman and sent right back into the Michigan zone. Battle for it out in front of the Michigan bench, trying to pull it away right at that blue line, caught in the linesman's skate. Now here comes Michigan, over to Cummings. Cummings gains the zone, top of the near circle. Cummings backhands it, moves it over to Gordon. Gordon trying to take a shot. That got deflected back behind by Tomko. Puck comes into the far corner. Racing over to get it, that's Molly Silvina. Back to the far point, held in by Rudd. Rudd puts it in along the end boards. Moved around by Murphy into the near corner. Now Comco trying to fire it ahead. That goes all the way across the ice. Fed by Molly Savino to the Michigan blue line, but here comes Rudd over center ice. Rudd gets it down. Here comes Gordon, top of the near circle. Gordon coming in. That was Carr. Shot there, comes wide outside the far circle. There's Gordon. Back to Ceballos. Ceballos with the shot from the far point. Over to Carr in the near corner. Carr has it. Carr battling in. Now trying to slip it into the slot, pulled away by Penn State as they feed it back into the neutral zone. Rudd has it along the near boards. Rudd feeds it over to Garbady. Garbady, top of the near circle. Garbady comes, moving her way through, knocked away, but gets it outside the far circle. Feeds it back to Ceballos at the far point. Puck comes into the far corner, deflects back behind. Penn State gathers that up. As coming ahead with it is Jin. Jin down the near boards. Jin over center ice. Jin popped away right at the Michigan blue line. Traveling back to get it, Penn State corrals it, puts it over to Pisano, intercepted by Flazar. Flazar trying to put it into the Penn State zone. Pisano has it, knocks it off of the far board, or near board. Now Hung trying to bring it back deep into the Penn State end. Kolwich feeding it over, that deflected back as Hotchman had it. Good job to poke that away as that puck comes right back into the neutral zone. Jin trying to pull it in and along those far boards. Now Flazar trying to tip it away as Hotchman trying to pull it off of the boards outside of the far circle. Battle back there with Carter. Now that comes towards the goal. Kolwich takes it right back behind her goal, going from the near side to the far side. Carter into the far corner, puts up a bouncing shot. 12:03 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far as that puck comes in along the near boards. As Hung ended up losing an edge. That puck into the near corner. Carter has it for Penn State. Trying to fire it out in front. Hotchman had it. Now tipped by Hung over. Here comes Black. Black through center ice. Black, the Penn State player in front of her, comes into the near corner. Black trying to feed it out in front for Dilla. That puck loose. There's a shot by Bobby that just is covered up and grabbed by Gorman. 11:38 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between these two teams. We appreciate you watching wherever you are at. From Happy Valley to Ann Arbor and everywhere in between. Thank you very much. And maybe even some folks out in Italy watching. We appreciate them. Dilla in taking the face-off versus Willie in the near face-off circle. Fired all the way out, deflected. Izzy German has it in the neutral zone. Puts it right back in deep. Grabbed underneath the far circle. Trying to pull it ahead was Cohen. Sent right back. Cohen has it outside the far circle. Moves it all the way over into the near corner. As that's fired down the far boards, here comes Cohen. Cohen into the Michigan zone, pulled away as Katie German races into the far corner, trying to pull it away from Cohen. Cohen trying to put it back to the far point, but Black was there for Michigan. Black gains the Penn State zone. Black in along the far boards. Outside the far circle, Black, as that's fired all the way around into the near corner. Cummings has it there for Michigan. Poked away. Battle for it. Solosky trying to get it. Top of the near circle. And pulled back away. Katie German at the near point. Over to Izzy German. That deflected back and fired all the way down the ice. That should be icing. And it is. That'll head back into the Penn State end. 10:38 left to go here in the first. We're so grateful for you joining us on a Saturday night, getting the Michigan women's hockey season back going. Again, big road trip, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday coming up next weekend. I'm planning on doing that road trip. My wife is still recovering from back surgery. She ended up having to have 2 back surgeries, so it might be an audio broadcast because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find a camera person. That puck in along the end boards. Gordon trying to pull that away. Now Carr into the near corner of the Penn State zone. Carr feeds it into the slot, knocked away from Cummings, got back by Ferris, who shoots it. And knocked down. Carr back behind the goal. Carr on the near side of the goal, right through the crease, trying to get to it was Gordon, and that chipped away all the way back to Ferris at the far point. Deflected by Penn State. Ferris able to poke it in, but coming down the far boards, here comes Slosky. Slosky moves it over, coming in with it, Rodicke. As that loose on the far circle. Here comes Gordon. Gordon stops. Gordon moves it into the far corner. And picked up by Kolwich. Kolwich trying to avoid pressure by Shaw. Cummings trying to get it out of the zone loose. Top of the near circle. Deflected back. Trying to come in with that is Sperling. Sperling has that knocked away into the near corner with Carr. Carr coming down the near boards. Carr trying to work her way through traffic. That deflected off the far boards as Gordon trying to feed it into the zone before she goes for a line change, or at least it looked like she was going for a line change, but battle for it right in front of the Michigan bench with 9:26 left to go here in the first. Still scoreless. Now Cummings is able to get a line change as that puck comes down on the near boards. Here comes Carr. Carr working her way in. Carr fires. That covered up by Gorman. As Carr able to get a nifty move and get right to the edge of the near side of the crease. But Gorman able to keep it out. Good Saturday night action here. 9:12 left to go here in the first. Face-off. Garbady in the near face-off circle over to Hung. Hung moves it back to Rudd at the near point. Rudd back into the near corner for Hung. Trying to pull it away. Garbady that slips right back behind the goal into the far corner. Flazar trying to get to that. Tipped back into the neutral zone. Hung has it at her own blue line, trying to get it over to Rudd. Rudd loses a edge, but that covered up by Schiff. 8:53 left to go here in the first. 0-0 is our score between these two squads. Face-off in the far face-off circle as Jin in to take the face-off versus Garbady. Rudd takes it right back behind Schiff. Right back behind Schiff in along the near boards. That's picked up by Garbady. Garbady trying to peel it off. That comes into the high slot. Moving it ahead down the near boards. Here comes Michigan racing ahead. Garbady. Garbady gets it on the near circle. Garbady swings it along the near boards. Moves it back, but nobody home at the near point as the defense was changing. Back, Katie German into the near corner with it. Katie German back behind the goal. Katie German working hard, makes a move, coming down the far boards to get away from Jin. Katie German slips it to the far point, but that held in there. Battle for it as that's on the far circle, tipped back. Hung moves it all the way back, top of the near circle, as that was pulled back away by Isabella Savino. Intercepted by Carter, now moved down the far boards. Katie German gets it all the way back to the blue line for Penn State, over to Isabella Savino. Isabella Savino is knocked away. Dilla chases it into the near corner of the Penn State zone. Pisano has it back behind the goal, trying to pull that away over there. Was Weinman. That puck back in along the far boards of the neutral zone. Collected at the Michigan blue line. Weinman chases it down the near boards, trying to get it away from Isabella Savino. Loose right at the Michigan blue line. Bobby moves it over, picked up, trying to go back into the far corner is Hilton. Hilton back behind the Michigan goal. Hilton trying to fire it out in front. Good job by Izzy German to knock that away. All the way back to the far point. That slips through. Racing back, Pisano into the far corner of her own zone with 7:18 left to go here in the first. Still scoreless. Puck comes back right in front of the Michigan bench. Ferris tips it right back into the Penn State zone, but from the wrong side of center ice. So that will be icing all the way back into the Michigan end. With 7:08 left to go here in the first. Solosky in to take the face-off versus Gordon in the far face-off circle. That puck sent right back behind and along the near boards. Chip there, trying to hold it in, loose into the neutral zone. Gordon trying to pull it away. Solosky comes into the high slot. Good move by Kolwich to knock it away. That puck in along the far boards. As Carr trying to peel that back. Now, good job by Bobby to knock it into the far corner. Ferris sends it for a ride around there, but that's grabbed by Cohen. Cohen right out in front. A good save by Schiff. As Kolwich puts it outside the far circle. Centering attempt, that intercepted. Racing ahead. Bobby feeds it now down the near boards. Here comes Carr. Carr gains the zone. Carr outside the near circle. Carr stops there. Carr centering attempt. That over to Cummings. Cummings trying to pull that away. Sent the other direction by Penn State as Willie had it, but that popped right back into the Penn State zone. Willie in front of the Penn State bench moves it over to Roddicky. Roddicky and pulled away top of the near circle. Here comes Kolwich over center ice. Kolwich coming in. Kolwich trying to move it to Cummings with a shot, and that is in. Michigan with a goal. Cummings shot, and it popped up and went down the back of Gorman. She didn't see it, and it slipped right in. Tough luck bounce for Penn State, but Michigan gets the lead to start things off, as that is here in the first at Michigan goal at 6:03. Cummings fires it in for the Maize and Blue. As that is going to be Cummings' second goal and 6th point on the season. Flazar brings it into the Penn State zone, fires it in along the end boards. Back trying to get to it is Shaw, back behind her own goal. Flazar underneath the far circle. Flazar and Shaw battling, back to Hung. Hung fires it right into the slot, pulled back away. Coming down the near boards, Izzy German holding it in. Her stick gets caught as that fired back into the neutral zone and picked up by Katie German. Katie German at her own blue line, back to Garbady. Garbady slips right back behind the goal, trying to move it over as Molly Savino trying to provide pressure back in the Michigan end. 6:25 left to go here in the first, 1-0. Michigan with the lead. Katie German, the captain, has it. And along the far boards, the other captain, Swanson, back with Team USA. Puck into the near corner. Izzy German with it there. Izzy German trying to feed it ahead. That comes. Shot and covered up by Schiff. As that was a blast by Tomko from the top of the near circle. Good save by Schiff, and 5:05 left here in the first. 1-0. Michigan with the lead. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Jin in to take the face-off versus Dilla. And just to Schiff's right as that puck comes all the way back to the near point. Shot there, deflected back. Good job to knock it away from Isabella Savino. Coming the other direction. Here comes Dilla. Dilla gains his own. Dilla moves it back to Garbady. That tipped into the slot. Bobby trying to fire it right through the slot, or right through the crease into the near corner. Dilla back as that's deflected away from Rudd. Savino, or Ceballos drops back, trying to provide good defense. Coming ahead with it. As here comes Duthie. Duthie with the shot. Glove save by Schiff. 4:36 left to go here in the first. 1-0 Michigan with the lead. Michigan's men's hockey played Notre Dame yesterday. They were down 2-0 and ended up coming back 5-2 to beat the Irish. Michigan women's hockey hoping for a big win versus a fellow Big Ten opponent here. Of course, both in the CCWHA, in the ACHA women's hockey. Back behind, trying to pick it up. The puck comes into the near corner. Bobby trying to feed it ahead. Loose. Gordon trying to tip it. That goes all the way across. Sakar trying to pull it away in the far corner, but that held in there by Hotchman. Hotchman battling it along the end boards as Hilton had it. Now into the near corner, trying to get it away from Isabella Savino. Now Cummings trying to feed it deep, picked up by Pisano. Pisano into the near corner. Pisano rims it all the way around the boards. Come back out to Hotchman. Hotchman moves it ahead right to the Michigan blue line. Ferris with it there. Ferris ricochets it ahead to Cummings. Cummings racing down the near boards. Cummings trying to get around Pisano. Pisano right back to Carter into the neutral zone where Kolwich picks it up. Kolwich over to Flazar. Flazar gains his own down the near boards. Flazar feeds it all the way around the boards into the far corner. That chipped ahead by Pisano, held in, knocked away. Carter had it, still holding it. Excellent job coming in. Katie German trying to get it over to Hung, but a good stick by number 4 for Penn State, able to knock that pass away. Carter at the near point of her own zone, quickly feeds it ahead. Willie into the slot. Willie still on the shot and a save. as Willie able to use her strength, battling a Michigan defender right through the slot, able to get off that shot. Schiff with a big save with 3:11 left to go here in the first. Face off in the near, face off circle. Slosky in to take the face off versus Garbetti. That shot deflects. Katie German has it outside the far circle. Tipped right back to the far point, but held in by Penn State. Hung has it top of the far circle of her own zone. Hung trying to pull it away. Willie into the far corner. Katie German trying to pull that past, trying to get it away from Radicke. Back underneath, Slosky trying to move it out in front. That puck, high slot, trying to pull that away. Now, into the neutral zone, poked away from Garbetti, but fired all the way down. Tipped by Flazar. She goes for a line change, and let it go deep into the Penn State end. Gathered up back there, Penn State down the near boards. Penn State feeds it into the neutral zone. Slosky has it, trying to move it over. Coming in. Molly Savino had it top of the far circle. That tipped away by Carr. Carr trying to move it over to Cummings, but that intercepted, fired right back in by Slosky. Here comes Izzy German ahead to Cummings. Cummings down the near boards, trying to dump it deep. Puck into the far corner. Michigan on a line change. Gordon trying to get to it, but that fired all the way down into the Michigan zone. Moved over, intercepted, coming in with it. Here comes Penn State. As a good job by Schiff to go side to side. As Sperling had an excellent opportunity there, but a fantastic shave by Schiff. Now, bouncing puck deep into the Penn State zone. Here comes Carr with it. Carr outside the near circle. Carr trying to pull it. That in along the near boards. Cummings trying to pull that away. Now coming down with it. Here comes Molly Savino. Kolwich trying to pull that right in front of the Penn State bench. Now coming in. Here comes Carr. Carr makes a good move. Carr coming in. Shot there. Deflects into the near corner. Pulled away. Bobby trying to get to it. That sent right back into the near boards of the Michigan zone. Trying to poke that away from Shaw. And will slip back to center ice. Gathered up back over there by Tomko. Tomko to her own blue line. Tomko fires it down the far boards. That lifted in. Katie German has it. Top of the far circle. Ahead. Here comes Bobby. Bobby down the near boards. Bobby trying to get it over to Dilla, but offside the call. That at 1:10 left to go here in the first. 1-0 Michigan with the lead over Penn State. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Dilla in to take the face-off. Gin on the other side. Now, Dilla will go for a line change. So Dilla, Weinman, and Bobby come off. Garbetti in there with Flazar and Hung. And puck moved over down the far boards. Here comes Katie German. Katie German fires it. That deflects over. Picked up back behind. Grabbing it is Tomko. Tomko feeds it down the boards. That held in at the far point by Katie German. Loose puck, top of the far circle. Flazar has it poked back. Katie German with a shot that just goes wide to the far side. Hung has it outside the near circle. Hung moves it all the way around the boards. And outside the far circle. Back to the far point. Coming in, Flazar takes a shot that tipped by Hung. And moved all the way back to the far point. Katie German with the one-timer into the near corner. Izzy German racing over, trying to pinch. Now Flazar outside the near circle. Still battling as that puck comes back to the near point. Izzy German trying to fire it back deep. That puck into the near corner. Now moved underneath the near circle. Flazar has it. Flazar all the way onto the far circle over to Izzy German. Top of the near circle. Izzy German. That got deflected up and over the goal. Flazar back behind, right into the slot, but that's sent over. Top of the far circle. Grab by, Izzy German trying to get to it, and that slips right past as a bouncing puck wouldn't settle down for her. She moves back into her own zone, and that will do it for the first at the end of one. It is Michigan 1 and Penn State nothing. As we will step away, play a few messages from the play a little bit of the Michigan Marching Band, and then we will be back. I'll see if I can get an ACHA scoreboard report. You are watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. 15 seconds left here in this intermission. Thank you to our director, Mike Butler, who did a little picture-in-picture since we're having issue with our OCR scoreboard licenses. For some reason, they won't work on our laptop, so he did a little picture-in-picture to help us out there. Now, not a lot of games have happened. Nothing earlier than January 10th. This calendar year, but it was Grand Valley beating Davenport by a score of 8-2 yesterday. Final in overtime, as it was Grand Canyon and Arizona State ending up tied at the end of overtime. It was Michigan State beating Arizona. That was University of Arizona. So Grand Canyon and University of Arizona ended up tied. Michigan State was out at Arizona State, and Michigan State won that one 6-4. Another final in overtime. It was Lake Region State College tying Montana State University 4-4. Over at the Parkview Ice House, it was Indiana Tech hosting Concordia. Indiana Tech won that one 6-1. Sioux College hosted University of Michigan Dearborn. That one went to overtime, where Sioux College won that one 4-3. That was at Dearborn. Another final in overtime. It was Minot State hosting Maryville over in the All Seasons Arena in Minot, North Dakota. That was a 3-2 win by Minot State. Let's see if there's any scores for today as of yet. 20 minutes up on the clock as we're ready to get going. Aquinas beat Davenport earlier today 6-2. Indiana Tech beat Concordia 3-0. It was Sioux College beating University of Michigan Dearborn 5-2. Minot beat Maryville by a score of 3-1. That all earlier today. So we're about to get ready to go. Here for the second period at Yost Ice Arena. It is 1-0, Michigan with the lead, as Cummings took a shot from the slot that ended up popping up and going back on the back of Paige Gorman and into the goal. And that's the lone goal of the game so far. As we're getting ready to go here for the second period, we're underway. As Izzy German moves it down the near boards. Carr trying to get to it. Pisano firing him right back into the neutral zone. Gordon trying to get to it. That's sent ahead by Katie German, now right down the near boards. Racing in, Soloski had it as Katie German ends up down on the ice and along the boards. Coming in with it, Willie with a shot shift with the save all the way back to the far point, and that will slide on edge, kind of saucering back deep into the Penn State zone. 19:30 left to go here in the second period, because Carr puts it out in front. Cummings trying to get to it, looking for her second goal. Puck wouldn't settle down. Puck into the far corner. Here comes Carr. Carr walking in with it. Carr shot that goes right through the crease. In along the near boards over to Katie German. Katie German back to Carr. In along the end boards. Carr into the near corner. Now on the near circle. Back to Katie German at the near point. Katie German over to Carr. Top of the near circle. Puck got knocked away in the slot. Back, and here comes Penn State. Working ahead with it is Roddicky. Coming in, knocked away by Izzy German, picked up by Soloski. Izzy German pulls that one away as well. Fired right back into center ice by Cummings. Picked up, knocked deep by Sperling. And it'll slip right back behind Schiff in the Michigan zone. Izzy German puts it back into the far corner. Hung picks it up there, trying to avoid pressure back over there by Shaw. Puck back to the near point. Held in there by Cohen. Now over and along the far boards, trying to fire it ahead, and Schiff covers it up. Good save by Schiff. 18:27 left to go here in the second. 1-0, Michigan with the lead. Face-off in the far face-off corner. That to Schiff's right. Garbady in to take the face-off versus Shaw. Puck outside along the far boards. That's sent back. Hung has it. Hung gets it out of the zone. Hung chips it all the way back into the Penn State zone. Hung racing back to get it in along the end boards. Hung battling hard. That puck off the side of the net. That goes right through the crease in along the near boards. Gathered up there. Here comes Penn State feeding it to Sperling. Sperling gains the zone. Sperling puts it in along the end boards. Slips right back behind Schiff into the far corner. Rudd trying to pull it out of there. Garbady ahead to Hung. Hung on those far boards. Couldn't get it out of the zone as that's fired right back into the near corner. Gathered up back there by Molly Servino. Molly Servino rims it right back behind the Michigan goal. Gathered up underneath the far circle by Rudd. over underneath the near circle. That moved ahead. Michigan back into the neutral zone. Garbetti trying to get to it. Puck wouldn't settle down, but she pulls it into the Penn State zone. Gathered up by Jin, back behind her own goal. Jin underneath the far circle, held in. Good job by Rudd. Rudd with a shot. That knuckleballs and saved by Gorman. 17:28 left to go here in the second. Face off in the far face off circle. And to Gorman's left. That puck, top of the far circle, pulled away. Racing ahead with it. And sent back deep by Duthie into the far corner of the Michigan zone. Ferris has it there. Ferris sends for a ride around the board. Stopped by Murphy. Murphy trying to get it. Keeping it in. Black gets it out of the zone. Now picked up by Jin. Jin feeds it back to the defensive pairing. Murphy, that puck wouldn't settle down in along the near boards. Trying to pull that away as Black sends it into the Penn State end. Racing back to get it is Tomko. Tomko into the near corner. And grabbed by Black. Black outside the near circle. Puck into the near corner. Black trying to battle Jin. Over to Dilla. Dilla puts it out in front. Then all the way back into the slot. Kolwich with the shot. That one pad saved by Gorman comes outside the near circle. Gathering it up. Murphy gets it in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Ferris trying to move it ahead. Gathered up and sent right back on the defensive side. And flipped out ahead by Tomko. Puck in along the far boards. Kolwich trying to get it back deep. That puck slides into the near corner. Murphy has it there in the Penn State end. 16:21 left to go here in the second. Racing ahead with it is Hotchman. Hotchman outside the near circle into the near corner. Ferris trying to knock that away. Puck outside the near circle is Hilton trying to get to that. Here comes Katie German. Loose, and that fired ahead. One touch over to Carr. Carr trying to get her way around. Trying to get around Isabella Sorvino. Carr, top of the far circle. Carr coming in. Carr walking in. Carr fires it in. Goal by Michigan as Carr stick handles her way all the way through across the crease and found a way to get to the edge before Gorman could. And that is a goal. Or not. No, I'm sorry. No. Forgive me. That I swear that was in, but apparently not. Gorman must have got it. Forgive me, Penn State fans. Just got a little excited there on that one. Face off in the near face off circle. Still 1-1. Katie German has it at the near point. Gets it over to Izzy German. Izzy German centered up on the blue line. Cummings trying to get to it as Pisano got in the way of her stick. Now letting her get everything on it. Carter outside the far circle. Gathered up. Sent back to the far point. Here comes Izzy German. Shot there. Comes just wide to the near side. Gathered up outside the near circle. Still battling with it. Trying to put it back deep as Cummings. Now Gordon has it outside the near circle. Gordon gets it right back behind the goal. Now trying to work her way in. As Cummings into the far corner. Carr trying to pick it up. Soloski outside the near circle. And Katie German gets it over. Here comes Carr. Carr ends up down on the ice. Katie German trying to tip that away as that puck comes outside the near circle and along the near boards. Gordon gets it into the near corner. There's a shot as Cummings found Gordon outside the near corner of the crease. Now here comes Carr on the far circle. Carr trying to get over to it. Penn State fires it all the way down the ice. 14:51 left to go here in the second. 1-0 Michigan with the lead as Carr had an amazing opportunity, but Gorman able to cover it up. 14:44 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Michigan with the lead. Face off in the near face off circle. Soloski versus Garbetti. That puck in along the near boards now. Kolwich comes down the far boards. Kolwich trying to move it ahead. Now Hung gets it over to Garbetti. Garbetti outside the far circle. Garbetti into the far corner of the Penn State zone. Trying to move it back. Kolwich takes it. Kolwich sends it right in along the end boards. Hung trying to pull that away. That puck underneath the near circle. Fed ahead by Cohen. Now here comes Soloski. Soloski down the near boards. And poked back, trying to get it away is Ferris. That goes right through the slot, or right through the crease, all the way back outside the far circle. Garbetti trying to get to it. Puck into the far corner. Penn State with it there. Kolwich knocks that away. That coming back is Willie battling. Soloski trying to get it back to Willie on the far circle. That tipped back into the neutral zone as Cohen trying to reset right at center ice. Sent back deep into the Michigan end. Schiff covers it up. 13:51 left to go here in the second. Michigan hosting Penn State live from Yost Ice Arena. 2 games here at Yost Ice Arena today, and then tomorrow, 4:05 Eastern Time game between these two squads. Tomorrow, if you have an opportunity, always good to spend a little Sunday afternoon here at Yost Ice Arena. Face off, Dilla puts it into the far corner. Izzy German moves it all the way around the boards. That back into the neutral zone. Murphy races back into the Penn State end to get it. That will be icing, though, and head back into the Michigan zone. 13:41 left to go here in the second. Face-off is going to be to Shifts right in the far face-off circle. Dilla in to take the face-off. Solosky on the other side. And to Shifts right, all the way back to the far point. Tomko trying to fire it right back behind the goal. Now Katie German taking some pressure. Moves ahead. Now here comes Bobby. Bobby racing down the far boards. Bobby into the zone. And loose on the far circle. Into the far corner. Now Radecki had it. Pulled back over. Weinman trying to pull that away. Carter. Or Solosky back. That puck loose into the near corner with it. Trying to feed ahead is Murphy. Katie German able to put it back deep. Bobby into the near corner of the Penn State zone. Bobby underneath the circle. Gets it over. Dilla with the shot. Oh, that deflects up high as Carr trying to pull that away. Held in at the far point by Dilla. Puck put right back in along the end boards. Carr racing back to get it away from Murphy. Carr battling a pair of Penn State players. Comes underneath the far circle. Trying to put it in. Here comes Katie German with the blast. That save out there by Gorman. Puck comes all the way outside the far circle. Now lifted back into the neutral zone, trying to bring it ahead. That was Molly Savino. Puck right back towards the Michigan goal. Katie German has it, slips back behind, trying to avoid Molly Savino. Now down the near boards. Here comes Carr. Carr trying to feed it ahead. Picked up back behind by Pisano. Pisano gets it down the near boards into the neutral zone, right in front of the scorer's bench. Grabbed by Izzy German. She sweeps it back deep into the Penn State end. All the way into the far corner there, Isabella Savino gets it ahead. Now here comes Shaw over on blue line. Shaw over center ice, gains his own. Shaw over top of the far circle, over to Molly Savino. Rudd making her go wide, and puck outside the far circle, trying to chip it around out there with Sperling. Back over, Sperling has it back to the far point. Now over, as Pisano has it at the near point, puts it back deep. Into the near corner, Cevallos trying to knock that away. Now Gorman back over to Cevallos. Cevallos brings it ahead. Cevallos over to Carr. Carr right at the blue line. Carr knocks it ahead over. Cummings races into the zone, but that picked up by Pisano. Pisano right back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead with it is Shaw. Shaw gains the Michigan zone. That tipped by Rudd back into the near corner. Rudd has it back behind her own goal. Rudd trying to avoid pressure back over there by Sperling. Puck loose on the far circle, now over to Flazar. That tips right back into the neutral zone, gathered up. Here comes Garbady. Garbady with speed coming in. Garbady outside the near circle. Garbady fires it, that off the side of the net, picked up by Shaw. Shaw trying to move it, held in at the blue line. There's a shot there by Kolwich, and up into the netting it goes. 11:05 left to go here in the second between Michigan and Penn State. Fantastic game so far between these two traditional Big Ten rivals in other sports, both teams in the CCWHA. And puck loose on the far circle, trying to pull it back. Top of the far circle, swept back over by Duthie. Into the neutral zone it goes. Controlled by Kolwich. Kolwich, that right off of Duthie, back into the Michigan zone. Now down the near boards, trying to get it ahead. Here comes Garbady. Garbady pinned against the boards. Garbady puts it into the near corner and gathered up back over there by Kohan. Kohan trying to get it back. That slips back into the neutral zone. Kolwich backhands it over to Hung. Hung gains the zone. Hung trying to put it back deep. Racing over to grab it is Kohan. Kohan sends it outside the near circle, gets it back and along the end boards. Ricochets it over, loose on the far circle. Hung trying to get to it into the far corner. Hung battling a pair of Nittany Lions. And back to the far point, over to Kolwich. Kolwich, high slot now coming over to Ferris. Ferris outside the near circle. Ferris knocks it off of the end boards, and it goes all the way around outside the far circle. Now back into the neutral zone, corralled there. Over to Ferris, right at center ice, down the near boards. Ferris sends it right back deep As Michigan gets a line change, so does Penn State into the far corner. And tipped back over there. Battle for it on the far circle. Knocked away. Trying to control it. Dilla puts it back. Dilla moving it back into the far corner there. Trying to battle back deep. Back into the near corner with it. That just off the side of the net. Picked up by Dilla. Dilla trying to feed it out in front. That loose and covered up by Gorman. 9:41 left to go here in the second. Michigan 1. Penn State nothing. Face-off is in the Penn State zone. It's going to be in the far face-off circle. That to Gorman's left. That puck all the way back, top of the far circle. Bobby trying to work her way in. Bobby gets it back, and puck wouldn't settle down. She tried to blast it from the inner corner of the far circle. That wouldn't work. Back over. Murphy has it underneath the near circle for Penn State. Murphy bringing it ahead. Ricocheted off. Now here comes Hotchman. Hotchman over to Carter. Carter with a blast. That goes high over the crossbar. Gathered up back behind by Katie German. Katie German moves it ahead. Bobby, that tipped right back. Here comes Michigan racing ahead with it. In on the far circle. Fired it. That's a great shot and a follow-up as Black puts it in. That was fantastic as a shot from the far circle, as I believe that was Cummings coming in with it. The shot, it deflected back over, and Black able to follow it up and fire it in. And Michigan has the 2-0 lead. As that was at 9:07. Black gets the rebound. Puck all the way back into Michigan defensive zone. Ferris with it there. Ferris trying to sweep it ahead. That goes all the way into the far corner. Icing called. That's going to go back into the Michigan end. 8:56 left to go. And Dilla with the assist, and I believe they say Katie German, as she was right down there as well. But Black puts it in. Michigan goes up 2-0. So that puck comes all the way back. Fired, then just goes wide. Kolwich has it in along the far boards, trying to get it over to Cummings. Cummings, who had the first goal. Here comes Carr. Carr had a great-looking shot that just didn't get in. Carr on the far circle, tipped back underneath by Murphy. Murphy into the far corner for Penn State. Murphy trying to sweep it ahead over as Roddicky had it. Now Ferris at the near point, but a whistle. Offside the call. 8:34 left to go here in the second. 2-0 Michigan with the lead over Penn State. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Slosky versus Gordon. Just outside of the Penn State zone. Cummings tips it back to her defense and gets it back coming down the far boards. That goes right up into the Michigan bench. No friendly fire there as they'll redrop that. Right in the far face-off circle just in front of the Michigan bench. 8:27 left to go here in the second. Again, Gordon versus Slosky. Puck back, now trying to feed it ahead. Kolwich sends it back deep off of the end boards. Isabella Silvino putting it down the near boards. Held in, Carr tips it right back. Into the far corner, Pisano trying to knock it away. Gordon back there providing pressure. Here comes Slosky. Slosky down the far board. Slosky into Michigan zone on the far circle. Slosky shot and a goal. Slosky comes all the way in and scores from a rifle shot from the far circle. And that is Penn State's first goal of the game, unassisted from Slosky. That just 1 minute and 2 seconds after the Michigan goal. At 8:05. Two to 1. So don't have it up on the scoreboard yet. That puck back in along the far boards. Chipped ahead as Hung trying to move it ahead. Still haven't put it up on the big board. That puck in along the far boards sent back. Hung trying to pull that away in along the end boards. Hung underneath the far circle there. Hung trying to get it back over Flazar in along the end boards. Flazar back. Top of the near circle over to Katie German. Katie German over to Flazar. Flazar, that puck got tipped away. Back. Now controlling Katie German. Ricochets as that goes all the way back into the far corner. Picked up there by Pisano. Back behind it along the near boards. So that's trying to lift it down towards the Michigan zone. Gathered up by Izzy German, back behind her own goal from the near side to the far side. Izzy German feeds it down the far boards. That tipped back. Garbady trying to pull it away. Garbady has it knocked away by Shaw. Shaw down the near boards, gets it over to Pisano. Katie German trying to pull that away from Molly Silvino. Loose right at the Michigan blue line, chipped back away from Lazar. Now Shaw has it outside the far circle. There they go. They got the scoreboard corrected. That shot, tip, shift, trying to pull that away as that got stuck in a pair of skates. Held in by Penn State at the far point. Now all the way across. Trying to pull it over is Sperling. Sperling got deflected by Hung as Garbady trying to knock it over. Here comes Michigan racing ahead with it. It is fired all the way down. Flazar puts it deep as she goes for a line change. Puck in along the near boards. Trying to pick it up is Dilla. Dilla backhands it, trying to get it over to Bobby. Bobby races in along the end boards. That grab by Penn State. Comes back, top of the near circle. Cevallos trying to pinch, racing ahead with it. Here comes Penn State. Is moved into the slot. Shot that just goes wide. Rudd trying to knock it away. Out in front. Good job to pop that over by Dilla. Now loose on the far circle. That held in at the far point, but knocked away from Cohan. Here comes Weinman. Weinman coming in. Weinman trying 5-hole. Still loose. Now coming in along the near boards. Good job by Gorman to take that. Cevallos right at center ice. Cevallos fires it. That right off of a Penn State skate. Dilla with it. Face-off is going to be in the near face-off circle outside of the Penn State zone. Or nope, they're going to say far face-off circle outside of the Penn State zone. Manami Gordon in to take the face-off. Carr to her left. Jin right across the way. As Cummings gains the zone. Cummings, top of the far circle. Quick shot, stop, covered up by Gorman. 5:39 left to go here in the second. Face-off comes again to the far face-off circle. Just to Gorman's left. Jin versus Gordon. Back top of the far circle. Kolwich trying to work her way in. Kolwich flips it through the slot, coming over in along the near boards. Back to Ferris at the near point. Ferris moves it into the near corner. Cummings with it. Cummings trying to shift away. Gets it over to Gordon. Gordon pops it into the slot. Shot there by Carr. That got blocked by a stick. Now Carr outside the far circle. Gets it back to the far point. Kolwich, that deflects over to Ferris. Top of the near circle. Ferris, that got deflected off. There's another shot that just goes wide. Cummings trying to get it outside the far circle. Gets it back to Kolwich. Kolwich lifts it up. Carr outside the far circle. Carr working her way in. Carr shot. Ooh, that just went a little high. Ferris has it outside the near circle in the Penn State zone. Ferris trying to make a nifty move. That chipped away by Murphy. Murphy trying to get it out of the zone for Penn State. Racing ahead with it. Here comes the Nittany Lions as they'll fire it deep into the Michigan zone. Stopped by Schiff. Gathered up. Now Kolwich has it underneath the far circle with 4:42 left to go here in the second. 2-1. Michigan with a 1-goal lead. And puck back over to Tomko. Tomko trying to move it ahead. Puck deflected back. Now Carr trying to dig it out of there. Ferris in there trying to pull it away at the near point. Still levering. Still trying to battle. Comes back over into the near corner. Gathered up there by Kolwich. She sends it for a ride along the boards. Cummings gets it knocked off of her stick. Now trying to get it over. Wouldn't settle down for Hilton. Now picked up. Top of the near circle. Carter with a shot. That goes wide. Cummings outside the far circle. Trying to get it away from Hilton. Ahead to Gordon. Gordon trying to fire it. That goes all the way down as Carr shifted one way. Now Michigan goes for a line change. 4 minutes even left to go here in the second. 2-1. Michigan with the lead. Michigan had a 2-goal lead, and then Penn State able to get it back to a single-goal differential. Pisano has it underneath the near circle, feeds it down the near boards, gets it ahead over to Hotchman. Picked up by Izzy German at her own blue line. Now down the far boards over. Coming in with it is Hung. Hung, top of the far circle. Hung, shot there, just goes wide. Ricochets over to Flazar outside the near circle. Flazar gets it, centered up on the blue line. Hung trying to get to it, trying to tip it, and kind of got stuck on her stick there as that's picked up. Hilton moves it back. Here comes Michigan. Shot from the far circle just goes wide. In along the near boards is Katie German trying to get to it. Hung trying to peel it off as that's picked up, and Carter gets it over for Penn State. Now racing ahead. Here comes Hotchman. Hotchman gains his own for the Lions. Hotchman with a shot. That got knocked away. Good job back there by Izzy German. Izzy German over to Flazar. Flazar up the near boards. Gets it ahead. Katie German trying to get to it. Puck wouldn't settle down. Now Carter comes the other direction. Izzy German into the far corner. Slosky trailing, trying to get it away from her. Now down the near boards, trying to hold it in is Pisano. Knocked away. Here comes Michigan as Flazar trying to move it over to Garbady, but that put right back into the neutral zone. Michigan avoiding a delayed offsides. Willie has it. Lifts it up high, all the way back deep. Racing in, Roddicky. Back behind the Michigan goal, Roddicky. Underneath the far circle, Roddicky. Top of the far circle, coming in, Roddicky. Puts it into the near corner for Willie. Willie makes a move back to Roddicky. Roddicky trying to fire it out in front. That goes all the way back into the Penn State end. 2 minutes, 17 seconds left to go here in the second. 2-1 Michigan with the lead. That puck back, picked up as that was heading towards Gorman. Now Soloski has it deep in the Penn State zone, trying to go back behind her own goal. Picked up by Bobby in the far corner. Bobby moves it right back behind. Cummings trying to get it over, loose. Bobby racing over, trying to get to it. Dilla back there. Grabbed back. Michigan has it at their own blue line. Ahead to Bobby. Bobby moves it over to Dilla. Dilla in the slot. Dilla trying to get a shot off. She was bumped off the puck and covered up by Gorman. 1 minute, 44 seconds left to go here at Yost Ice Arena in the second. Penn State and Michigan doing battle. The women's hockey, first of 2 games here at Yost Ice Arena between these two teams. 4:05 tomorrow. We would love to see you down here. We anticipate having the broadcast. If anything goes wrong tomorrow, so if you can't make it, watch it. There's a shot by Carr. Glove save. She's had some excellent opportunities in this game. It's only a matter of time, I think, before some of those are going to head into the net with 1:35 left to go. Gordon, again, right back to her left is Cummings, trying to bring it ahead. Cummings knocking it down, top of the far circle. Here comes Gordon. Gordon outside the far circle, gets it back to Kolwich at the far point. Kolwich back to Gordon on the far circle. There's a shot, glove saved by Gorman. 1 minute, 23 seconds left to go here in the second. Puck into the far corner, trying to pull that away. Good job to knock it away by the Penn State defense as they get it down the near boards. Gordon tips it up, loose, trying to get to it is Molly Savino. Now in along the end boards, and grabbed by Cohen. Down the far boards, trying to bring it ahead. Knocked down back there as that puck slips back into the neutral zone, gathered up by Ferris. Ferris down the near boards. Ferris gains his own. Ferris trying to get around Molly Savino. And back behind, battling back there is Cohen. Cohen trying to get that back. Now Shaw trying to pick it up off of the end line. Shaw racing ahead down the near boards. Shaw gets it into the neutral zone, gathered up there by Gordon at her own blue line. Gordon over to Kolwich. Kolwich ricochets it ahead. Over. Now Cummings trying to feed it down the far board. She's knocked off the puck. Now bringing it in. Here comes Carr. Carr working her way in, and just couldn't get her stick on it. Covered up by Gorman as Carr trying to move it over to Cummings, and the puck just was sliding. Didn't look like it was unsettled, but she just couldn't get a stick on it. As good defense by Penn State with 25.8 seconds left to go. Fantastic battle between these two squads. Every other year, but Penn State comes here, and next year Michigan goes to Penn State. That's been a lot of fun to get out to Happy Valley over to State College. Been there a couple times now. Willie, that puck goes all the way back as Katie German moves it over to Izzy German. High slot, Izzy German outside the near circle with it. Flazar has it. Flazar backhands it. Ooh, that fired, and now will go all the way back as trying to get someone in the high slot. And puck just slipped back. Now Slosky back over, trying to provide pressure. And over to Katie German down the far boards. Katie German moves it over. That'll ricochet off the near board over to Izzy German. Izzy German, that will do it. As at the end of 2, it is Michigan 2, Penn State won. And by the way, there was a Penn State penalty. I totally missed that one. 1 minute 35 seconds left on the Penn State penalty. So Michigan will have a power play for 25, or Michigan had a 25-second power play earlier. Yes, I'm doing math correctly. They'll have a 1 minute 35 second power play afterwards. I know math is tough. It's more than the fingers I can use. So both the squads heading off. Penn State over to our left, Michigan over to the right. Always a wonderful time to spend an evening here at Yost Ice Arena. Thank you for watching wherever you are at. Thank you for cheering on these teams. We're going to step away and play a little bit of the Michigan Marching Band. It is the second intermission. So it's time for I Can't Turn You Loose. And then we'll do a Michigan, University of Michigan intermission scoreboard report. Thank you for watching Michigan Women's Hockey. We'll be back with third period action.
Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to the Michigan Amphitheater. You know, so much of the music we hear today is this pre-programmed electronic disco. You never get a chance to hear master bluesmen practicing their craft. By the year 2006, the music now known as the blues will exist only in the classical record department of your local public library. And so, this afternoon, while we still can, let us welcome from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Gary Lewis and his blues band. Gary Lewis and his blues band.
It is 2-1 here at the second intermission between Michigan women's hockey and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Let's take a look at a Michigan scoreboard report for this past week, all the way back to January the 5th. Michigan men's hockey beat number 13 Ohio State 3-2 in overtime, answering back after Ohio State beat them over at Wrigley in the cozy confines there, the frozen confines. It was women's as wrestling as Michigan taking on number 12 Denver. They lost that one 194.975 to 195.700. In men's basketball, they took on number 22 UCLA. Michigan won that one 94-75. On Wednesday, January 8th, it was women's basketball taking on Ohio State. Number 9 Ohio State beat them by a score of 84-77. On Friday, January 10th, women's swimming and diving was at number 6 Indiana. They lost that one 160-103. Men's swimming and diving was at Indiana. They lost that one 176-118. Women's tennis was at the Michigan Invitational, a non-scoring event. In wrestling, it was versus Maryland, and that one was a 19-18 win by Maryland. In hockey last night, again, it was Michigan coming back from a 2-goal deficit to win 5-3 over the Irish. And then in wrestling, I believe, that at the Sprotts Farmer Market College Quad, Michigan was first out of 4. Then today in tennis, it's the Michigan Invitational for women's tennis and men's tennis, a non-scoring event. In gymnastics for men, Michigan was first out of 3. In women's basketball, Michigan played Purdue in West Lafayette, beat Purdue 87-60. In men's tennis versus Ball State, Michigan won 7-0, and it was a loss down in South Bend, Indiana, as Ohio State came back and beat Michigan in the 2-game series 7-4. That's your Michigan intermission scoreboard report. Michigan will be on the power play coming up. They'll have a minute 35 seconds left on the power play coming into the third. We've done we're having issues with our OCR scoreboard licensing. Probably won't get that fixed until during the week because their customer service is closed. We've done a little picture-in-picture. I appreciate Mike Butler, our director, doing that for us. So you can kind of see what's going on with the penalties out there. So number 4 for Penn State, who I don't have number 4-15. That player is in the penalty box to start off the third. 20 minutes up on the clock as we're ready to go for the all-important third period. Garbadian to take the face-off. Bobby to her right and Carr to her left. It is Ferris patrolling the blue line as well as Cummings on the power play. Penn State comes out. Therefore, they have Willie. They have Isabella Savino, Solosky, and as well as Pisano out there. So Ferris has it back in her own zone. Ferris coming back, 1:27 left to go on the Michigan power play. That fed ahead. Cummings moves it over to center ice. Here comes Garbady. Garbady on the near circle. Garbady goes back behind the goal. Garbady tipped off the puck, but she has it in the far corner, trying to get it away from Solosky. Now Cummings has it. Cummings. That puck gets stuck in a wet spot, tipped all the way back to the far point. Now Ferris gets it, top of the far circle. Is that back? Centered up on the blue line, over to Ferris. Here comes. That's a block shot as Carr took a shot that got blocked by Isabella Salvino. Coming ahead with it. That fire deep. Solosky trying to get to it into the far corner. Ferris watches her back into the Michigan zone. Pulled back over by Cummings. Cummings coming down the near boards, trying to move it ahead. Here comes Carr. Carr racing ahead with it. Carr gains the Penn State zone with 38 seconds left in the power play. Puck in along the end boards. Carr has it underneath the near circle. Carr trying to dig it out of the near corner. Gets it to Ferris, centered up on the blue line. That just goes wide to the far side. There's a shot, and Cummings scores her second of the game as the rebound came out to the edge of the far circle, and Cummings able to fire it in. And that is a power play goal for the Wolverines here in the third. Michigan goal by Cummings at 18:51. Michigan back to a 2-goal lead. Last time they had a 2-goal lead, Penn State answered 1 minute and 2 seconds after the fact. Face off right at center ice as that comes all the way back. Down the far boards. Murphy has it. That tip by Flazar. All the way back deep into the far corner. Gathered up back behind by Tomko. Tomko battling. Hung trying to tip it deep in the Penn State zone. Here comes Garbady. Garbady trying to walk her way past. That got knocked away. Garbady in the far corner trying to pull it away from Murphy. Now Shaw back there. Murphy puts it all the way around outside the near circle. Gathered up back over there by Sperling. Sperling gets it high into the neutral zone. Sent ahead. Here comes Flazar. Flazar got it from Cevallos. Knocked in along the far boards by Shaw. Shaw gets it right back into the neutral zone. Cevallos trying to avoid pressure from behind. That puck through the neutral zone, in along the near boards. Ricocheted ahead. And to pick it up back over there. Deflected. Grabbed by Dilla. Dilla down the near boards into Penn State zone. Dilla. Shot. That one just goes wide. In along the far boards. Katie German pinches in at the far point. Katie German puts it back into the far corner. Dilla has it there. Going from the near side to the far side. Puck into the near corner. Outside the near circle with it. Dilla moves it. That deflected as that shot all the way back. Katie German took a shot and that was deflected back over there by Molly Savino. Michigan drop pass back in their own zone. Flipped in along the near boards. 17:22 left to go. Penn State able to hold it in. Poked into the slot. Now pulled ahead. Here comes Weinman down the far boards. Held in at the far point. Trying to put it back deep is Cohen. Puck. Cohen trying to stop it again, but this time out into the neutral zone. Coming ahead with it as trying to pull it away was Bobby. And in along the end boards, Dilla trying to get it back. Bobby off the side of the net. And puck loose on the near circle, gathering it up here. Now moving ahead is Duthie. Duthie fires it all the way back deep. That will be icing and head back into the Michigan end with 16:49 left to go here in the third. 3-2, good battle between these two squads. CCWHA foes. Face-off will be to the right of Gorman in the far face-off circle. Gordon in to take the face-off. Gin on the other side. That puck sent back. Ferris has it at the far point. Over to Kolwich at the near point. Kolwich trying to cycle it down. Picked up outside the near circle. Here comes Carr. Carr in the slot. Carr coming over onto the far circle. Shot there. And it goes into the near corner. Trying to gather it ahead. Penn State battling outside the near circle with it. Picked up by Cummings. Cummings trying to work her way through traffic. That covered up by Gorman. Just getting right on top back there. Good defense by Penn State to knock that away. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That is to Gorman's left. With 16:25 left to go here at Yost Ice Arena. Here in the third. Gordon in taking the face-off versus Hilton. That puck in along the end boards. Cummings trying to get to it. That comes all the way around outside the far circle. Carr with it there. Carr trying to work her way through traffic. Carr into the slot. Backhanded and fired in. As Carr moved it over and Gordon tipped it and fired it in. So that makes it 4-1 Michigan with the lead. As Gordon with the goal. That one from Carr. Michigan goal, that with 16:12 left to go. 4-1. Michigan has the lead on Penn State. Gordon in to take the face off. Hilton on the other side. Puck loose, trying to pick it up. Carter moves it back to the blue line. Feeding it ahead is Isabella Salvino. All the way back deep into the Penn State zone. So again, Gordon with the goal. As Carr with the assist. Here comes Cummings. Cummings trying to get it to Gordon for his second goal. Picked up. Kolwich firing it in. And Kolwich scores! Michigan takes a 5-1 lead. Kolwich firing it from the top of the near circle. And Michigan, the couple 3 goals here in the third, have taken the lead here 5-1. As the hill gets ever taller for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Timeout called by Penn State. They want to talk things over. As a tough situation, you had it down to a one-goal game. Michigan had the first goal at 6:03, as that was Cummings with the goal. Then Michigan scored again at 9:07. So Carr and Gordon on the assist. So that was, and then so Michigan took a 2-0 lead. That at 9:07 in the first. That one was scored by Black. Then Penn State scored in the second to make it a 2-1 game. Is putting that in with Solosky. And Michigan with 3 goals in the third. One at 18:51 by Cummings. One at 16:12 by Gordon, and then the latest at 15:51. 5-1. Michigan with the lead here, trying to hold on as they don't want to give Penn State any kind of momentum that they can take and try and finish off this game or lead it into tomorrow's game. Hung firing it down the far boards. Here comes Flazar. Flazar over on blue line. Flazar feeds it ahead. And puck in. Trying to race over to get it down the near boards. Hung trying to pull it in. That puck right back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead with is that's fired by Rodicke. Outside the far circle, Willie gets it back to the far point, over to Murphy. And shot deflects as that goes back into the near corner. Battle for it there is trying to get it out of there. Willie battling with Izzy German. Here comes Katie German underneath the far circle. Intercepted by Solosky. Katie German battling. Now Izzy German feeds it down the far boards. Flazar makes a nifty move to avoid pressure. Gets it ahead to Hung. Hung racing ahead. 2-on-1. Now getting back is Willie. Hung coming in. She tries to fire it out in front. That off the side of the net. Picked up by Solosky there. Solosky goes from the near side. Now underneath the far circle. Trying to cut up the ice. Trying to feed it ahead to Rodicke, but that put right back in by Katie German as that'll rim all the way around outside the near circle as that's gathered up back over there by Tomko. Tomko trying to make a move, get it ahead to Willie. Knocked down back there by Bobby. Bobby trying to pick it up. Now here comes Kolwich. Kolwich coming down. Kolwich feeds it. Black with it. Black fires it back deep. That puck will go back into the near corner. Tomko with it there in the Penn State zone. 14:24 left to go here in the third. Trying to bring it ahead is Molly Savino. That put back deep into the Michigan end. Ferris has it right back behind her own goal. Ferris coming down the far boards. Ferris moves it ahead. That tipped by Bobby. Grabbed, sent the other direction as Molly Savino gets it back into the Michigan zone. Coming around with it is Sperling. Sperling and knocked away by Kolwich. Loose. Taken right back behind by Dilla. Dilla down the far boards. That puck chipped. Trying to bring it in. That loose. Trying to work her way in with it is Cohen. Fired right back behind the Michigan goal. Gathered up back there. Trying to avoid pressure by Molly Savino. Bobby feeds it loose. Top of the near circle. That puck comes top of the far circle. Sent ahead. Here comes Dilla. Dilla over center ice. Dilla surrounded by 4 Penn State players, but she gets a shot off. Covered up by Gorman, and that gives Michigan a chance to change. Face off back into the Penn State end with 13:27 left to go here in the third. 5-1 Michigan with the lead over the Penn State Nittany Lions. Gordon in the far face-off circle versus Jin. That to the right of Gorman. Puck loose. Shot off the side of the net. Good job by Cummings to try and get another goal there. Tipped by Gordon. Battle for it. All the way back to Cevallos. Cevallos feeds it right back behind the goal into the near corner. Racing over to get it. Isabella Savino. Isabella Savino puts it up the near boards. That slipped back into the neutral zone. Gathered up there. Trying to feed it over as Rudd. That back into the Michigan end. Fired ahead. Plucked up back there by Isabella Savino, but pulled away by Gordon. Gordon trying to move it ahead. Jin knocked it down. Now here comes Carr. Carr racing over to get it. Grabbed by Pisano. Pisano into the near corner of the Penn State zone. Pisano coming up the near boards. Pisano into the neutral zone. Pisano tipped back away by Gordon, trying to move it over to Carr. And lifted by Jin right back to center ice and swept all the way back deep by Pisano as Penn State changes a couple players. Dilla back behind the goal. That tipped. Trying to move it over as getting in front of it was Duthie. Outside the near circle now. Michigan trying to knock that away. Pulled back over as Duthie trying to get it. Now Dilla back behind her own goal. Dilla into the near corner. She's brought off the puck. Hilton trying to pull it away. Now Dilla. That stick kind of wrapped a little bit around Cevallos. Puck into the far corner. Rudd trying to get it out there. Rudd Trying to move it forward. That held in by Hilton. Hilton stops it at the far point. Over to Pisano. Picked up by Rudd down the far boards. Rudd chips it back into the neutral zone right in front of the Penn State bench. Now Cummings knocks it into the Penn State zone. Cummings coming over. Cummings trying to backhand it. Is good defense back there. Isabella Savino knocking that away and putting it into the far corner. Moving it quickly ahead. Hotchman puts it back deep into the Michigan end as Izzy German has it. Right at the goal line, feeds it back into the neutral zone, gathered up. Here comes Murphy down the near boards. Murphy retreats back to her own blue line. Murphy trying to get around Garbady. Fed ahead to Hilton. That tipped off of her stick. Here comes Izzy German in along the end boards. Izzy German over to Katie German. Katie German gets it ahead. Loose on the far circle. Here comes Michigan. Fed ahead by Garbady. Garbady races back to get it. Garbady on the far circle. Garbady, right through. Pad saved by Gorman. Comes outside the near circle. Izzy German puts it into the near corner, back, trying to pick it up back there. Knocked down by Hung. Hung underneath the far circle. There's a shot that just goes right through the crease. Hung into the near corner. She's run off the puck by Carter. Puck back, top of the near circle, over to Garbady, wouldn't settle down. Hung with a backhanded attempt, knocked away by Gordon, off the far side of the net. Over Garbady, right through the crease. Gathered up as that chipped down the boards. Trying to send it into the neutral zone. Here comes Hilton, one-on-one with Izzy German. Izzy German staying ahead as Schiff steers that into the near corner. Katie German putting it up the near boards. Here comes Michigan, grabbing it Garbady. Garbady working her way, surrounded by 4 Penn State players before she puts it back deep as Michigan goes for a line change. 10:29 left to go here in the third. Quickly ahead to Willie. Willie ricochets it off the far boards over to Slasky. Back over to Roddicky. Roddicky has it back to the far point. Weinman trying to knock that away. Now tipped back over to Dilla. Dilla ricochets off the far boards, but held in back over there. Penn State, Dilla. Now over to Weinman. Weinman trying to chip it ahead to Bobby. And just out of her reach, sent down the near boards by Penn State, right back into the Michigan zone. Colwich in along the end boards, trying to avoid pressure by Roddicky. Into the far corner it goes. Knocked down by Penn State. Loose in the slot. Shot. Good save by Schiff as she covers it up. Oh, Molly Savino had it right on the edge as the puck deflected over. Molly Savino trying to fire it in, and a good save by Schiff. Keeps it a 5-1 game by Michigan with the lead with 9:53 left to go. Dilla in to take the face-off versus Shaw. That puck comes all the way outside the far circle. Weinman trying to get it back there away from Cohen. Puck back behind the Michigan goal. Now in along the near boards. Sent back to the blue line, pulling it ahead. Dilla gets it back into the neutral zone. Bobby down the near boards. Now fired across. And Shaw feeds it down the far boards. Grabbing it ahead is Cohen. Cohen all the way back in along the end boards. Gathered up by Ferris back behind her own goal. Ferris sweeps it down the near boards. Intercepted, grabbed, that fired by Shaw all the way across outside the far circle. Chip back over there. Good job by Sperling. Knocked down as Molly Savino has it back behind the Michigan goal. Now coming over and fired by Shaw. That goes all the way across the slot. That tipped all the way back as a shot by Cohen back to the near point. Held in there. Trying to move it. Tipped back. Controlled. Flipped over to the far point. Coming in. That fired back deep over there by Cohen. Puck back behind. Trying to get it away. As Weinman trying to chip it past. Is that puck now back? Gathering it up back over there is Sperling. Sperling at her own blue line. Moves it over. Here comes Penn State. Top of the near circle. That deflected into the far corner. Racing back over to get it is Ferris. Ferris battling Slosky. Now Gordon comes back behind her own goal to get it. Gordon into the far corner of the Michigan zone with 8:32 left to go. Puck all the way back. Pisano chases it into the far corner of the of the Penn State zone. Swept into the near corner. Cummings trying to pull that away from Isabella Savino. Back and now go all the way down. Icing called. They'll head back into the Penn State zone with 8:12 left to go here in the third. Face-off will be in the Penn State zone in the far face-off circle. That to the right of Gorman. Gordon in to take the face-off versus Willie. That puck all the way in along the near boards, racing as it comes back into the Michigan zone. Schiff covers it up. Solosky was right there on top. A good job. Schiff not taking any chances. And it's going to be a face-off in the near face-off circle in the Michigan zone, just to Schiff's right. 8:04 left to go here in the third. Again, we appreciate all of you watching wherever you are at. There's a shot by Isabella Slosky over to Izzy German. Izzy German back behind her own goal. Over to Katie German down the far boards, trying to chip it ahead. That got caught. Here comes Carr. Carr over her own blue line. Carr trying to move it over to Gordon, but pulled right back in by Penn State. Coming in, Slosky on the near circle. Slosky, backhanded shot all the way over. Oh, that went off of the side of the net. Good job by Schiff to slide over from the near side to the far side. Coming in, here comes Roddicky. Roddicky. Top of the far circle, drop pass over. That shot. Good job by Schiff to knock it down, loose in the slot. Now Cummings moves it over and along the far boards, then gets it back. Cummings down the far boards into the Penn State zone. Cummings trying to chip it back. Michigan gets a line change as Cummings will now feed her way over to the bench as that's moved all the way back. Schiff steers it into the far corner. Gathered up there, moved down the near boards into the neutral zone. Hung trying to race back to get it. Tomko has it outside the near circle. Tomko back behind her own goal. Puck into the far corner. Flazar with it there. Flazar moves it back to Ceballos at the far point. Ceballos that tipped into the near corner. Hung racing back to get it. 6:55 left to go here in the third. Top of the near circle for Hung. Now over. Ceballos top of the far circle. That's gobbled up as Gorman gets it into the far corner. Controlled by Michigan. Back over to Rudd. Rudd, top of the near circle. Rudd taking a shot. That comes all the way back over to Ceballos outside the far circle. Ceballos trying to sweep it over to Hung. Back to Ceballos at the far point. Ceballos. Shot tipped out in front by Garbady. Loose, and that'll go all the way down the ice. 6:25 left to go here in the third. Michigan gathers up, trying to avoid pressure by Jin, who's a fast mover. Tipped right back over to Flazar, trying to get around a pair of Nittany Lions. Flazar in, top of the near circle. Shot there, deflects in along the far boards. Gathered up by Penn State as they rocket it off the near board. Now coming right back in. Here comes Kolwich, who puts it back deep into the near corner. Kolwich retreats back to the near point. Tomko has it in along the far boards, trying to fire it away. Ferris, right in front of the Penn State bench. Garbady fires it right back into the Penn State zone as that puck into the near corner. 5:45 left to go. Trying to work her way through traffic. Bobby trying to get through this slot. That puck, top of the near circle. Coming ahead with it is Carter. Carter gets it back over to Murphy. Now that's loose, picked up. Black gets it over to Bobby. Bobby trying to move over, but that deflected ahead by Penn State. Loose puck in along the far boards. Again, control. Kolwich quickly ahead to Dilla. Dilla right over center ice. Dilla has that poke back away. Battle for it right in front of the scorer's bench. Trying to lever it, trying to dig out of there. It's Black trying to get to it. Now Dilla, that pulled ahead as Carter moves it into the zone. Here comes Molly Savino. Knocked off the near boards and back into the Penn State end with 5:05 left to go. Control back there by Shaw. Shaw fires it down the far boards. Over to Molly Savino. Molly Savino puts it into the zone. Picked up by Ferris. Back behind the Michigan goal. Ferris into the far corner. Held in at the far point. Now reflected right back behind the Michigan goal. Good job to knock it away out in front. Picked up by Shaw into the far corner. Here comes Black. Black down the far boards. Held in at the far point. Shot there. Back by Cohen. Puck comes outside the near circle. Deflected. Loose. Picked up. Michigan ahead to Cummings. Here comes Dilla. Dilla at her own blue line. Coming down the far boards over center ice. Dilla fires it all the way back deep. 4:24 left to go here in the third. 5-1 is the score. Michigan in the lead. That puck down the near boards. Gathered up by Izzy German. Izzy German flips it ahead. That all the way. Grabbed. Here comes Michigan gaining the zone. Carr has it. Carr makes a move. Backhanded shot. That deflected back in along the end boards. Carr into the near corner with it. Carr moves it back to the near point to Izzy German. Izzy German. That deflected by Gordon, but now brought back out into the near boards. Izzy German races back to get it. Sperling pressure back behind her. Down the far boards. Sent ahead. Gordon trying to get to it. Puck loose. Here comes Cummings. Backhands it. Now spinning with it. Gordon. Gordon trying to get it back to Katie German. Now Izzy German down the near boards. Big time pressure by Willie. Penn State really putting some pressure back in the Michigan zone. Cummings over center ice. Down the near boards of the neutral zone. Cummings top of the near circle. Makes a move in the slot. That knocked down. Loose. Put in along the far boards. Katie German gathers it up there. Lifts it down in along the end boards. Gathered up by Isabella Savino. Isabella Savino trying to move it out of the zone. Held in. Good job by Katie German. Loose at the far point. Gordon backhands it deep into the far corner. Cummings races back to get it. Pisano underneath the near circle with 3:05 left to go here in the third. Puck down the near boards, chipped by Flazara. That'll go into the near corner. Picked up by Rudd, back behind her own goal. Rudd coming down the near boards. Grabbed as Isabella Savino puts it back. Now Solosky had it all the way back to the blue line. Pisano over down the near boards. Here comes Isabella Savino. Isabella Savino firing it back deep. That puck all the way around into the far corner. Gathered up there is Jen trying to pull that away. Chip back right in along the end boards. Garbady with it there. 2:25 left to go here in the third. Puck in the Michigan zone, trying to avoid pressure. Moved over to Rudd down the near boards. Rudd over on blue line. Rudd feeds it ahead. That's loose. Gathered up. Coming the other direction with it is Duthie. Duthie knocked away. Gathers it up. Fires it back to the Penn State blue line. And over on the near side to Isabella Salvino. Loose in the neutral zone. Rudd flips it back into her own zone. Over and knocked ahead by Cevallos. Now loose right at the Michigan blue line. Back into the Penn State zone. As Pizzino fires it down on the far boards. As Pisano had it loose on the far circle. Now lifted down the far boards. Michigan has it. Trying to get it over to Hung. That ricochets off the near board with 1 minute, 38 seconds left to go. Hung picks it up. Backhands it ahead. Right at center ice. That gathered up by Tomko. Tomko trying to feed it. Now coming in. Carter with a shot that into the near corner. Gathered up there by Hotchman. Hotchman trying to dig it right in front of the goal. Knocked away by Dilla. Dilla underneath the far circle in the Michigan zone. 1:19 left to go. Dilla over on blue line. Dilla over center ice. Dilla gains his own. Puck hit along the end boards. Dilla gathers it up there underneath the far circle. Dilla now trying to move it over. Weinman. Puck deflects. Back to Dilla in the slot. Dilla with a shot. Glove saved by Gorman. And puck outside the far circle there. Gathered up by Hotchman, who fires it into the neutral zone. 57 seconds left to go. That will be covered up and face off in the Michigan zone. Shift with the save. 5-1, Michigan with the lead. These two teams face off. 4:05 tomorrow here from Yost Ice Arena. We would love to see you here. Michigan trying to get a couple big wins without 6 players and their head coach all over in Italy for the University World Games. Ferris has it in along the far boards. Again, opportunities for other Michigan players to get their legs underneath them, stand out, and make a big impact on this team. Sakar moves it over. Here comes Cummings. 40 seconds left. Cummings outside in the near circle, working her way through. Backhanded shot that deflects into the far corner. Carr trying to pull it. She's knocked off the puck. Now that back into the neutral zone. Over. Kolwich has it just on her own side of center ice. Back over to Ferris. Ferris ahead to Carr. Carr chips it. Then off of the boards. Gathered up there by Shaw. Shaw right back into the neutral zone. 16 seconds left to go. Ferris at her own blue line. Ferris retreats, trying to avoid pressure back there by Sperling. Sperling pins that puck in along the far board. 6 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Michigan has won by a score of 5-1, taking the first game of 2 versus these two teams. Again, they will be back at 4:05 tomorrow as Michigan will try for the sweep. Penn State will try to get a big win on the road. We would love to see you here if you can make it down to Yost Ice Arena. We would love to see you cheering on the action here. For my camera person, James Wiseman, our director, Mike Butler, my name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you very, very much. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. We'll be back tomorrow at 4:05 here from Yost Ice Arena. Final score, Michigan 5, Penn State 1.